Okay, so after this, I'd like to introduce Shruti. So Shruti is 12 years old. 11? Oh, whoops, I'm sorry.
That's how long you spoke?
Yeah, you forgot.
She is in 6th grade? 6th grade, I knew that. And she is also a Girl Scout, and I know she's probably pretty good at that. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Shruti.
Come on, go ahead.
Hi guys, my name is Shruti, and before I start, I'd like to thank Rithvik for his awesome speech and for introducing me. Hockey has never been my favorite sport to watch, but I may be watching it, maybe. So today I'll be talking to you about what adults can learn from kids. I chose this topic because 1, I want to make all the adults in this room feel very bad about what they've done. 2, I want kids to rebel up and you know, overthrow all those presidents and prime ministers and start out their own union of all kids, and they just start, you know, no school, no homework, nothing like that. No, just kidding. I wish, but not yet. I chose this topic because I want to have kids get more of a say in the world. I feel like it's just adults all the time, so I feel like kids should get more of a say in the world. So today I'll be talking to you about the word childish, why kids can be better at planning things out, what I think about adults teaching kids the word trust, and the great ideas that kids had that led up to a success. So let's get started. Who here has ever been called childish? Okay. Shows you're too mature to be called childish. You should know. So childish, like whenever we make irrational demands or exhibit irresponsible behavior, or just being our normal, everyday, lively citizens of today, we are sometimes called childish. But I don't like this, because even if someone is like, 45 years old, they're still 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and all the way through. It's just that they don't exhibit those behaviors all the time. Even though I'm 11, I could be feeling extremely giggly at some point, and maybe the part of me that's 6 is just coming back into me. So that's why I think that we should completely abolish this unmeaningful word and just don't say it anymore. It's very unmeaningful. Life lesson to you, parents. Okay, so next point. Why kids are better at planning events out. How many of you adults, and I don't want you to say this out loud, but just think in your head, have ever said, oh, this is too hard, this is too expensive, we can't do this, we don't have time? Well, kids don't really think of reasons not to do things. They're very willing, unless of course it's extra math, but we'll leave that aside. But for any other things, they're very, willing. For example, and actually can be full of inspiring aspirations, such as my wish that everything was free. But we all know that if everything were free, there would be chaos, it would be catastrophic, so many things that I don't even want to go into. But here's an example of kids having great ideas and not thinking of the hardships. In the state of Washington, there's a glass museum called the Museum of Glass, and there they have a program called Kids Design Glass. And when you think of a glass museum, wouldn't you think of beautiful, elaborate, giant vases that have perfect detailing on them and at the slightest touch just explode into small millions of pieces? Well, kids kind of made very different things. For example, skeletons with 5 pairs of arms, people with 2 heads, dogs with 5 legs, bacon boys, and into the realm of magic, just like you said, like completely imaginary things. So, and blowing glass into shapes is not easy yet. Like, have any of you ever tried it?
I've seen it.
It looks hard, isn't it? Like blowing glass into shapes. Again, kids didn't really think of those hardships, and again, they just went on and didn't exactly stop. So that's why kids can be better at planning things out than adults. Now on to my next point. What I think about teachers teaching kids, or adults teaching kids. So we've all been told to do this, do that, do this, do that all the time in a classroom, right? Well, how does the teacher actually know that you're learning if the kids are always so quiet and are just doing what you tell them to? How does the teacher know that they're learning? What's the answer to that?
Exam.
A lot of people in this room said exams. But how about, think about it, how about a kid teaches the teacher? Wouldn't that be a little bit better so that, the teacher actually knows that, okay, this kid is definitely learning, he can teach me. But, so think about this. What's the main risk in taking an exam that isn't there in speaking? Any ideas?
No risk.
There is a risk.
What's the question again?
What's the risk in taking an exam that isn't there in speaking? And there are various answers to this question. I mean, you can think of it any way, but...
You will be really dumb. Because you don't speak.
Okay, yeah, Nyanika?
They could cheat.
Exactly. The young girl in the black boots with the wand said they could cheat. You can't exactly cheat while you're speaking, unless of course you're reading the words off your hand. You can't, and when you take a test, you can't exactly cheat because, when you take a test, you actually can cheat, because we all know who the genius kid in class is. Me. So that's why I think that kids should actually speak more about what they're learning rather than always the teacher telling them what to do and taking a test on what the teacher taught them. Now on to my next point, trust. Trust is the firm belief in someone or something. And if you don't trust someone, wouldn't you put restrictions on them? Like, if I don't trust my brother to give me back those 25 cents that I won in a bet, I'm obviously going to restrict him from getting money from me when he wins a bet, right? So that way, if parents don't trust their kids to go out downtown, do whatever they want, well, not whatever they want. Of course, there has to be some limit, but if the kids are a little bit more independent, isn't that how you learn? By going out and doing your own thing? Like if your parents are teaching you how to cross the street, but you've never crossed the street, how do you know exactly what to expect? It's just like that. So, and I don't mean to be reading you the handbook of parenting, but but you should trust your kids, okay? You just should, okay? So now onto my final point. Oh my God, that went very fast. The great ideas that children had that led up to success and who the kids were. Have any of you ever heard of Malala Yousafzai?
Yes.
Yeah. Can anyone tell me who she was? Test for you, please. Nyanika?
She was the person who kind of stood up against the Taliban for women's rights.
Yes, yeah. The young girl in the wonderful black boots actually said she was the woman who stood up against the Taliban for rights for women. Yes, that is true. But do you know what she stood up for?
Education.
Yes. She stood up for education, and she was so persistent. She was very strong. She even actually got shot when she was 15 for what she did, and she won the Nobel Prize, which is an amazing achievement. Also, here are just a few other examples. Anne Frank reached out to millions during the Holocaust. Ruby Bridges helped end segregation in the United States. And more recently, Charlie Simpson raised an enormous amount for Haiti. For the earthquake in Haiti, it was 120,000 pounds. I forget the conversion to dollars, but 120,000 pounds for the earthquake in Haiti. As a 7-year-old on his little bike. And also, here are just a few fun facts. The earmuffs and the trampoline and the hula hoops were all, and the popsicle were all invented by kids. That's cool. Like, whenever you go to an ice cream truck, always remember that what you're getting there, or the popsicle, is by kids. Remember that. So thank you for listening, everybody.
Good job.